r/ask Reddit. What part of your personality do you fake? How duck I'm calm I always am. I feel this. I'm always angry and about to blow. I just have exceptional self-control so people very rarely actually see my anger issues. But isn't that a mastery? Thought you typed misery. It's both. Extroversion. I'm a middle school teacher. I, too, get paid to be an extrovert. I'm an assistant instructor here, aka paid extrovert. Bartender here. How much money I make is directly linked to how much of an extrovert I can be. When I was a server I felt like my introversion helped. I learned how to fake extroversion. So it always felt like a job but in a good way. Other servers would have bad days and their personalities would suffer. But mine was all fake anyway so I could turn it on anytime. I also feel like it helped me realize the nuance of it. And could be more cheerful or more leveled based on the customer's reactions. I'm an introvert, and whenever I tell people at work that they look at me unbelievingly, but to be successful at work I've had to work really hard at being more extroverted. It's so draining. Every day I'm exhausted mentally, but when I get home the sweet sound of silence, and my dog's happy feet. Yup, my last boss once said something to me of the effect I'm glad I didn't hire an introvert, after some event or meeting where I was on for the whole thing and was able to get some projects moving forwards due to that. I laughed then explained to him I am an introvert, being so social and stuff, being on, actually takes a lot out of me, but I can do it when required as long as I can go home and recharge in private for hours. Which is what the chief difference between an extrovert and introvert is, I've been told. Patience. On the inside, I'm screaming at you to hurry up. On the outside, I'm saying, no, it's fine. Take your time. For real, I get it. Take your time. Dear, double quote. That's kind of what patience is to me. Maybe I'm too cynical. Maybe other people can say it's fine without being annoyed underneath it. I agree with you. It's like the difference between being brave and unafraid. Bravery is doing the thing despite existing fear. Patience is remaining calm and accommodating despite wanting things hurried along. Like when people come in 5 minutes before closing. Was at a small diner 45 minutes before they closed and 30 to close they cleaned the grill back area. Watched as a bus full of teenage girls came in 10 till close and made over 20 orders. Staff made the food but we all know they were screaming internally. Being nice. I have some pretty mean and dongish tendencies naturally but I do my best to be nice to everyone in spite of myself. Well, I think if you make a conscious effort to be nice to people and not let some darker tendencies take over that legit makes you a nice person. We all have a dark side in us but what I think really counts is how we act and behave towards others. Same. I have this condescending tendency, especially towards emotionally vulnerable people who make a ton of fuss about it. The tendency might come from a background of anger. So I really wanna shit on you but I'll stay civil ignore. Especially when I remind myself I am emotionally vulnerable, even if I don't put it out there. Dude same. There are a few people on my social media feed who basically never post anything except I really need love support wholesome memes right now and my first instinct is wow what an emotional vampire what if I told them what a drain it was just to see them on my feed then I remember that I feel like that too, just far less often. And the only real difference is I have the restraint not to tell the whole Facebook world. Confidence. I always give off that leader energy when I actually lack self-esteem and I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. I just don't like asking for help or bothering others so everyone thinks highly of me when it's all just a facade. Me. Day job. You're really good in front of the client. Will you lead this meeting? I'm the most junior on the team. Night job. You're a really great server. You're so good with people. Friends. You're so confident. I don't know how you do it. Inside. Oh my god what the duck am I doing? How? I can't. Oh duck they're looking at me what did they say? Shit. Internal tears flow because I'm now freaking out about what this means I need to do now and I just wanna cry myself to sleep in the corner like the emotionally stunted eccentric lady I am. Me out loud. I sure will. No problem. Oh thank you. I appreciate that. IDK I just do it. I'll let you in on a secret. With all the failing you think you do, we, others, still think of you higher than we do of others. Otherwise you wouldn't be asked to do those things. When people push you forward to lead the charge, be it serving, running meetings or talking to people on their behalf, they trust and believe in you. You sound like a pretty cool guy, and I hope all your meetings go well today. Being sociable when I really want to GTF away from people. This is me. I'm the funny wisecrack at social gatherings, but what I really love is running and hiking alone. I know, and driving around alone listening to music. Being alone is restorative for me because of my job. You're not really faking to be social. You're just introvert like me. We still need social interactions once in a while, even if we hate it because it's exhausting. For us, I found interesting that, even if I prefer staying at home instead of going out with friends, it doesn't bother me playing with online friends all weekend. I often have to fake emotional responses to meet people's expectations, especially when someone says they miss me a lot or even just saying I love you, and I know I have to say it back even if I don't feel anything. Me too. Jesus Christ, me too. I have never understood the concept of missing someone. I don't feel the absence of other people. Even when I was 9 and my dad said he was leaving, I cried and everything, only BC my brother was crying too. Two people being in two different places has never been a source of distress for me, ever. The I love you thing I get too. Not to say I'm incapable of loving, because there's people I absolutely love. It's just that the words are just words to me. Being happy all the time, but it does actually make me a more joyful person. Being happy all the time is exhausting. I strive for contentment. It sure is exhausting, but to me, it pays off. I've realized the single greatest life hack in the world is this: just smile. Smile at everyone you meet, whether it's family, co-worker or a random cashier. Even if you're not particularly happy, it's inherently infectious. Everyone will treat you better, and most of the time you'll end up inadvertently making yourself actually happy as well. I do this at work and I feel like I'm on the brink of laughing at a joke that nobody is telling. I was kind of embarrassed once when someone asked, "Why are you smiling at your computer?" Like I had no idea. It's honestly like remembering a funny joke except there isn't one. Like emotional muscle memory? I dunno. Feels good even though it's a little weird. Confidence. A fake identity ends up being your real identity if you've lived it long enough, because any identity we have is just a construct. It's a choice. YouTube comment 2019. That's an interesting argument, but it doesn't apply here, Mr. Fanning. You are charged with identity theft and will serve 1 year with 5 years probation. Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Around my friend I'm a much weirder person, but I always fake being serious around people I don't know because I get too anxious about whether or not they like me. That's me. I'm a natural weirdo, but I have to tone it down when I'm around anyone that's not my boyfriend. I don't know if this counts as faking, but I hide all my dark negative thoughts until I've had a bit too much to drink. I say everything out loud and my friends say they're concerned about my mental health and I should see a therapist. I do this same thing. I hardly call my parents unless I'm drunk, and then when I do, I tell them about my personal problems and then wake up the next day like, WTF did you do? Customer service. Had a guy come into my store last night yelling, "Get the duck out of my way," and honestly me telling him to duck off was the most genuine interaction I've had with a customer in months. This cracked me up. Like, finally we don't need to deal with each other. As a very spontaneous person, this is scary. Like, does everyone around me have a fake personality? Do people pretend to care about me or my interests to avoid awkwardness? Thanks for the existential crisis, y'all. Don't worry. People generally overestimate how good they are at fake caring. You probably pick up on it instinctively most of the time. When it happens, I often feel uncomfortable around people who are too nice, because it's disingenuous and fake. There is a difference between being nice and being kind, and I much prefer the latter. You can pick up on genuine kindness pretty easily too. It's more subtle and will go with a person's actions. Also, Reddit is skewed towards a very specific demographic. Don't worry about mean people who vent here because they can't do it anywhere else. They also overstate what is fake. A lot of times it just means something they have to work at, but it's still something they consider a part of themselves, a part of who they want to be. For example, someone faking being brave is just being brave. That's what bravery is. Someone who pretends to care obviously does care to some extent. Someone pretending to be happy is trying to be happy. Someone pretending to be extroverted enjoys talking with people, or at least what they get out of it. In short, being fake often doesn't mean being disingenuous as much as it means that it takes work to be who you want to be. I pretend to be happy and normal when out in public, but sometimes I'll let my true miserable self out in my own home. Nobody is perfect. Sorry. No need to apologize. We feel you. Being happy, wanting to live, enjoying my job, enjoying my life. Well, of course I know him. He's me. Being shy. There's some people that don't get to see my outgoing personality because I don't want them to. It's not about meeting strangers or anything, but if I have a bad experience or you do something I don't agree with, I can't feel comfortable around you, so I just be passive and quiet. Being professional with professionals. It's so confining and restricting, and goddamn frustrating, but I have no choice but to do it. I actually prefer it. Like, we are not interacting socially for fun. I don't give a shit about those people and don't want it, and the fact that we have guidelines and restrictions telling us exactly how to communicate makes the whole thing easy. It's good that it's not personal, cause how could it be? Keep my personal life outside of work because of course I won't personally choose to be there and do that shit. We do it cause it's our job. Professionalism is in that way honest. What I hate is those we're all family and friends company culture nonsense, or even clients who pretend they are cool and casual. That type is always the one who knows no boundaries, harasses all the time, and overall is just homicide inducing. Extroversion. I've had people argue with me when I say I'm an introvert. Some people are drained by social interaction, others energized. I'm very much the former. Introversion and extroversion are often conflated with shyness and outgoingness. The drained or energized part you mentioned is introversion and extroversion. Being shy or outgoing is a different aspect. The shy introvert or the outgoing extrovert are stereotypical and kind of match. But there are also outgoing introverts and shy extroverts. My one friend, an outgoing introvert, is very sociable, but you can tell when she hits a wall of too much social time as she mic drops and bails. My orgasms. Bruh, you can just switch hands if your arm gets tired. I tried switching hands once. Neighbor didn't appreciate it. Your kid is very cute and I am very happy that you have what you want. Oh, look, you're showing me another picture. Oh, okay, we're back to talking about your kids. I don't give two flying ducks on a giraffe about your children. I just don't care about that part, and I have to fake it very hard to even act like I give one damn. Because I don't. Not one. Being nice about people's kids. Like the type of people that shove their kids' pics in your face at work and say, look at this. Isn't it just the cutest? And I'll play along, but damn do I not care. I don't show my kids off like they're some trophies. And yes, I still love them and I'm proud of them, which some people question when I say that. They're just really nobody's business other than mine, dad, my family, and my close friends. Pretending not to care about things. Yep, I noticed all those little quirks you try to hide. That weird way you click your knuckles or wrist constantly, like some sort of compulsion. That you glanced at me for a half second when you entered the room. Or that my friend gets a hug but I don't. I wanted a hug too. I just pretend I don't care because I want everyone to feel comfortable by going along with the flow. I also do care about your jokes at my expense, or at someone else's expense, but they're not here with us. So I'd rather we just have fun and relax rather than ruin the mood by bringing it up. Unfortunately, being extremely shy can be mistaken for stoicism. I'm not stoic. I'm just very awkward and pretending that I'm not for everybody's comfort. Being happy. I'm ducking not. Being professional at work. I'm sometimes only doing it cause I have bills to pay and I don't want to get sacked, but I would love to say what I want at work. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.